Rain danced hard against the rooftop of Velvet Dust Lounge, casting a silver shimmer over Osu streets. Inside, warm jazz floated through amber lights and clinking glasses. Ama Baidoo, 34, sat at the far end of the bar, her afro puff frizzed by humidity, thrift chic coat damp. She stared into her glass of whiskey and soda like it held answers to her life. 15000, she muttered bitterly. That's the price of Baba's bad luck. Her voice was thick with sarcasm. Her father had vanished after borrowing from underground lenders. Now Emma carried the debt alone, shielding her mother and younger brother from fallout. Across the bar, a tall man in a dark kaftan watched silently. Kwabena KB Ofori, real estate mogul and owner of Ofori Heights, wasn't here to socialize. But something about Emma's laughter, sharp and hollow, pulled him in. "You talk to yourself often?" he asked coolly. Emma blinked, surprised. Do rich men in tailored kaftans usually eavesdrop? He didn't smile. "How much?" She smirked, "Planning to invest in my drama." 15000, he repeated. She scoffed. "You gonna clear it or adopt me?" KB paused, then spoke flatly. "I'll pay it, but I want something in return." Emma raised an eyebrow. "What? My kidney?" He leaned in. A child. No strings, no emotions, just one A. Emma choked on her drink. "You're serious?" "Entirely." She laughed, loud and broken. "Make me laugh once, Mr. Ofori, and maybe I'll think about it." And with thunder crashing over Osu, a deal neither of them understood was quietly born. Emma stood before the sleek glass doors of Ofori Heights, suitcase in one hand, heart pounding. Airport residential felt like another world. Clean, cold, too quiet. The security guard barely blinked as she was buzzed in. Her heels echoed in the penthouse hallway like an intruder's footstep. The doors opened. KB stood inside in a crisp ivory kaftan, barefoot, holding a glass of water like it was armor. Emma stepped in, wide-eyed. Polished marble floors stretched across the space. Neutral-tone furniture sat in perfect silence. A giant wall of glass offered a perfect view of the city, but no curtains, no color, no life. "This place looks like a law firm that's allergic to joy," she muttered. "No noise in my home," KB replied without looking at her. She rolled her eyes. "Then you brought in the wrong woman, boss man. I hum when I pee." Her room was clinical, gray walls, one stiff chair, no mirror, no warmth, no scent. Emma didn't cry. She whispered, "You agreed to this. So live it." By morning, she attacked the kitchen. Everything was untouched. Spices alphabetized, fridge stocked with berries and bottled water. She unpacked her tote, onions, fresh ginger, Scotch bonnet, her grandmother's skillet. Soon, the aroma of pepper and thyme filled the air. KB appeared, brows furrowed. "What's that smell?" "Freedom," she said, holding up a steaming spoon. "Taste. This kitchen needs deliverance." He took a slow bite, silent. "Well?" she asked. He nodded once. "Tolerable." Emma burst out laughing. High praise from Banana Ice King himself. He turned away, but a flicker of something, almost a smile, passed over his lips. The weeks passed, measured by the slow thaw silence. Emma filled the space with Afro soul, Jollof experiments, and bright throw pillows that clashed with the penthouse's cold palate. KB remained a shadow, watchful, always composed, always distant. One night, rain tapped gently against the glass walls. Emma stood on the balcony, one hand on her growing belly, the other cradling a glass of ginger tea. "She kicked today," she murmured to the city. "Strong like her mother." Behind her, KB's footsteps were soft but sure. "Can I feel it?" he asked, surprising them both. She hesitated, then guided his hand. A firm kick jolted beneath her skin. His eyes widened, hand frozen. "She's strong." Emma nodded. "And stubborn." A long silence followed. For the first time, he didn't look like Ofori Heights. He looked like a man. That weekend, KB stayed home. Emma danced barefoot in a faded tee as Ace's jailer played. He watched from the hallway, arms crossed, something unreadable in his gaze. "You don't eat breakfast," she called. I do now. She tilted her head. Because of the baby. He looked at her. Because of you. She turned away too quickly, heart pounding. Later that day, she found a box of mangoes on the kitchen counter, her favorite. No note, just a gesture. And later still, a blanket, soft, green, her favorite color, appeared on the couch. She smiled as she curled beneath it and texted him. You're not so cold anymore, just slightly frozen. Progress. His reply came quietly from across the room. Don't expect too much. I'm still learning. The scent of okra soup and uziza leaves simmered through the penthouse when Ama's phone buzzed. It was her mother. She hesitated, then answered, only to hear trembling words that turned her bones to ash. Laurel, it's your father. He's gone. Shot in a bet house in Kanashi. No goodbyes. No second chances. Ama dropped the spoon. Her hands cradled her belly as her body went still. An hour passed. KB found her on the kitchen stool, eyes vacant, the stove forgotten. What happened? He asked. My father died this morning, she said flatly. He froze. Of all things, he hadn't expected this. I thought I'd be relieved, she whispered, but it just aches. He hovered, unsure. Then awkwardly, he placed a hand on her shoulder. She didn't flinch. She leaned into it. That night, she didn't cook. KB didn't ask why. The penthouse returned to its old silence, but this time, it wasn't distance. It was grief. Days passed. Ama still walked barefoot, still played soft music, but laughter was gone. Her joy curled up and hid. KB noticed the way she moved past him like a ghost in her own story. On the 5th day, a box appeared on the table, baby onuses, pastel socks, and a journal, letters to my daughter. Ama stared at it. Her heart cracked. You bought this? She asked. KB nodded. I thought she might like it. You might too. She kicked when I opened it. She has good taste. Ama smiled weakly. I'm scared. Of what? That I'll be like him. That I'll fail her. You won't, KB said. You stayed. He didn't. Ama blinked hard. Thank you. The next morning, she made akamu and pap. She waited at the counter as KB Saturday. I wrote her a letter, she said. What did it say? Ama smiled. That her dad is the coldest, strongest, warmest man I know. He reached across the table and took her hand. For the first time, grief didn't sit between them. It sat beside them, quiet and healing. A week after the letter, Ama found a printed schedule on the fridge. At the top, prenatal class, Legan Botanical Gardens. Her brows rose. You signed us up for breathing lessons, she asked, arms crossed. KB didn't flinch. You said she kicks more when you're tense. Let's learn how to breathe. Ama burst into laughter. You, in a garden? Among yoga bowls and pregnant strangers. I've survived oil tycoons. I'll survive this. Saturday came. The gardens were lush, birds chirping between canopies. Ama sat cross-legged on a Kent mat, belly round, laughter bright. KB sat beside her, stiff as a tree trunk. Now, the instructor said, breathe as if you're taking back control. Ama leaned in, smirking. Imagine it's a hostile takeover. KB exhaled and laughed, a real, deep, shock laugh. Two women turned to stare. Ama's eyes sparkled. After class, they stopped for roasted corn by the roadside. KB bit into his and grimaced. Tastes like charcoal and regret. Ama doubled over with laughter. Welcome to Ghana. At home, she soaked her feet on the balcony, ankles swollen. KB appeared silently with a bowl of warm water and a towel. You don't have to. I want to. He knelt, gently washing her feet. Ama's eyes welled. You're going to make me cry again. Then cry. This is real. She cupped his face. Are you saying you love me? He paused. I'm saying I already do. Later that night, as they lay side by side, Ama whispered, I used to believe I'd raise her alone. You won't, he said. Not anymore. Outside, the leaves whispered in the garden breeze. Inside, Something unspoken bloomed, stronger than their contract, deeper than they planned. It started just after 3 a.m. Emma shot upright, clutching her belly. A sharp cramp pulled through her like a rip in the sky. "KB," she gasped, shaking him. "It's time." He jolted awake, already reaching for the hospital bag. "Stay calm," he said, though his hands trembled. On the drive to Ridge Hospital, contractions slammed into Emma like crashing waves. "Are you okay?" he asked for the third time. She turned to him, breathless. "Ask me that again and I'll bite your face." At the hospital, nurses wheeled her in, barking instructions in Chi. KB stayed close, filling forms with shaky fingers. For once, the man who always had answers had none. 3 hours passed. Then a sound tore through the corridor, a baby's first cry. A nurse emerged, smiling. "Congrats, sir. It's a girl." Inside the ward, Emma lay spent but glowing. In her arms, a tiny bundle with dark curls and a fierce, curious face. "She's here," Emma whispered, voice cracking. KB stepped closer, eyes wide, reverent. "She's perfect." He touched her cheek with trembling fingers. "Liana." Emma nodded. "Our little climb." He held her for the first time, tiny fists curled against his chest. The room was still, sacred. That night, Liana slept between them. KB stayed awake, watching her. At one point, a nurse snapped a photo, him cradling the baby, Emma's fingers resting on his. 3 days later, they returned to Ofori Heights. But the home had changed. A bassinet now stood in the living room. Bottles lined the kitchen counter. Lullabies played from hidden speakers. And in the middle of it all, Emma and KB sat side by side, quiet, whole, watching their daughter breathe. Emma had just lulled Liana to sleep when the intercom buzzed. She pressed a button, expecting a delivery. Instead, a crisp voice crackled through. "Good afternoon. I'm looking for Kwabena Ofori. My name is Morena Ageman." The name hit Emma like cold water. She turned as KB stepped out of his office, the rare calm on his face shattered. He pressed the security panel and gave clearance without a word. "Who is she?" Emma asked. "She was important once. She left for New York years ago. I haven't seen her since." Before Emma could reply, the elevator doors opened. Morena stepped in, tall, elegant in cream silk and gold heels. Her eyes scanned the room, landing on Liana's bassinet. Then on Emma. "You must be Emma," Morena said, her voice too smooth. "I didn't expect this." "You expected him to be alone." Emma asked coolly. "I came for closure," Morena replied. "Not drama." KB's tone shifted. "Morena, what do you want?" "To say goodbye. I'm moving back, but I needed to see you. One last time." "You left?" Emma cut in. "You don't get last times." Morena's eyes narrowed. "I see. She's got claws." KB stepped beside Emma, his voice steel. "We're family now. That's all you need to know." Morena's gaze lingered for a beat. Then she turned to the elevator. "Goodbye, Kwabena. And good luck, Emma." When the doors closed, Emma exhaled, her arms wrapped protectively around Liana. "You didn't blink," she said. "I stopped blinking for her a long time ago." Emma leaned into him. She saw what I see, something real, something she didn't know how to stay for. He kissed her temple. "But you stayed?" "And I always will." Outside, Accra buzzed. Inside, the past had been shown the door, and the present held on tighter. The cantonment's garden glowed in late afternoon gold. A white marquee stood under mango trees, decked in soft pastel balloons and bowls of chilled cebolo. Laughter floated through the air, intimate, warm, familiar. Emma, in a flowing lilac dress, carried Liana, now one, whose tiny curls peeked from a floral crown. KB, crisp in a white linen shirt, held her hand with quiet pride. As guests sang a jazzy happy birthday, Liana squealed and clapped, her joy lighting up the yard. Emma leaned close to KB. "She's going to be a force." "She already is," he replied, eyes fixed on his daughter. After the cake, a marker, Emma's best friend, pulled her aside. From Osu deals to birthday parties and cantonments. You did it. Emma smiled. We did. Inside the house, sunlight spilled across the manuscript on Emma's desk. Midnight Promises in Osu, How I Married a Stranger and Found My Forever. Nearly complete. Nearly ready. That night, with Liana asleep and the lights dimmed, KB wrapped his arms around Emma in their living room. Happy birthday to our little girl, he whispered. And to us, Emma replied, resting her head on his chest. Outside, the moon rose over Accra's skyline. Inside, everything they had built, out of chaos, love, and second chances, stood steady. I want to start writing full-time, Emma said suddenly. Write everything, KB said. I'll read every word. She reached for his hand. I thought love had to knock gently. He smiled. Ours kicked the door in. They both laughed, and in the quiet that followed, as Liana breathed softly in the next room, Emma knew this wasn't just a story. It was home.